What is up, bros and barrettes? I am Inkslasher, and today we are playing the original Call of Duty World War II. So really the only game mode you can play in this game right now is Team Deathmatch consistently. Unless you're playing in like the middle of the day, you might be able to get into some like regular domination or something like that. The game's not insanely populated on PlayStation. However, on Xbox you may be able to get into the weirder game modes, but mainly on... Holy tanks! So this was actually... Okay, there's like 3 of them in tanks. Like, this isn't fun. This was my first Call of Duty game I ever played. The very first one. And you may notice that I'm only level 37 in this. And that's because I mainly played back then on Xbox 360. I think most people played on Xbox 360 back then. Now the thing with that is that because it was my first Call of Duty, God was I bad at this game. Like, I remember when I first started playing, we're talking like 0.6 kill death. I really wish their whole team wasn't in tanks right now. Tanks would absolutely be something I do not want them to add into Call of Duty World War II, at least for the online portion of it. Completely fine with that for the single player. Give me that UAV. So assumably artillery, UAV, and dogs are all going to be in Call of Duty World War II, I assume. And that's kind of why I wanted to make this video, is to show you some of the stuff that's actually going to be in the game, or presumably be in the game. Because with a World War II game, they really don't quite have as much stuff to work with. What I mean by that is there was less weapons back then, there was less shit going on. For example, right now, I have no idea where to call that in. We're just gonna go with back there. And like, less kill streaks, less everything to work with. And they're still in tanks. Come on. Or no, die. Die! The bolt-action sniper rifles are awesome in this game. And that's one thing I'm really looking forward to in Call of Duty World War II, is gonna be using the sniper rifles, because this game has some of my favorite sniper rifles ever in a Call of Duty game. We're probably going to get killed by a tank here, but... And that's another thing. I really wish I still had my original Xbox 360 account so I could show you my 0.6 kill death. Because I wasn't joking when I said that. Literally a 0.6 kill death. Okay, so there's a guy up here. Oh, he's freaking Juggernaut! So, another interesting idea or topic to bring up when it comes to World War II, or at least Call of Duty World... Oh, I'm gonna die. No, I'm not! Okay. When it comes to Call of Duty World War II, is the whole idea that this weapon right here was the... Oh, I'm gassed out. Is the only fully automatic assault rifle. The only one in this game. The rest of them are semi-auto, and they're good. They're still good, and they're fun to use. But this is the only fully automatic assault rifle. And looking at the rest of the Call of... They're all over here, eh? The rest of the Call of Duty games, that just doesn't happen in any other Call of Duty game. They're all fully automatic assault rifles, and that's like the most... Almost like the weapons that people use is fully automatic assault rifles in Call of Duty games. What's with the gas, man? Have that. The worst flash grenade ever in Call of Duty history. Give me another artillery, baby. I don't know where to call it in, though. But I actually got a pretty interesting story to tell you guys about this game today. So I didn't just want to talk to you guys about what I thought was going to be in the game. Even though, like, look at this gun. The bar. When have you ever heard of the bar other than this game? We'll keep bringing that up throughout the video. Things that I think will be in the game and things that'll be interesting. That's a tank. But this story revolves around a very specific moment I remember in this game. Because this game, like I said, I played this game so much and I was so bad at it. Really wasn't a happy moment in my life, but it was like one of the moments that really, I think, define who I am as a person. Because in my life, I've really had no one ever who was close to me, like, die or even be really sick. It's just, my parents were young when they had me. I'm really close with all my grandparents, and, like, I think that's a good thing, but I've just never experienced... Where the hell is this person? Experienced that, like, loss of life or anything like that. What is he doing? Like, why was he sitting back there? And this is the story of the only time in my life that I've had anything close to that. So this map was like one of the like crowd favorites in this game. Castle, everyone loved this map. And I was no exception. I love this map too. Now I think, since this is Corey's baby, I don't remember what this class was, so we're gonna use this. Type 100. I bet this gun is going to be in World War II. Now, the story that I want to tell you actually directly involves Call of Duty World at War, and directly involves a specific map, and it's not this map. In fact, it's a map I really didn't like. And that map is Roundhouse. Let's see if I can... Got him. Because the way this story starts is I was sitting in the basement playing Roundhouse. It was a game of domination on Roundhouse. I remember we were winning. And my mom came downstairs. Now, my mom had been out the whole night. She'd been out the whole night with, I believe, my stepdad and my grandparents at bingo night. Yes, you didn't hear me wrong, bingo night. And so because of this, I expected my parents to be out pretty late. Because bingo goes pretty late. So I was just up by myself, playing some video games. And I remember specifically I was playing on Roundhouse. So I'm playing on Roundhouse, my mom comes downstairs and tells me what? To turn off the console. Not kidding, she's like, turn off the Xbox, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, what? Like, that's not something my mom says. My mom's she's pretty cool. Like, she's a cool mom. Like, she normally is like, okay, finish your game and then come up for dinner. Like, that's the way it was, right? But no, this time she's like, turn off the Xbox. So I turned off the Xbox and didn't really know what was going on. What are you doing? So immediately I knew something was up. Immediately. And as soon as I turn off the Xbox, I look over at my mom, and my mom is sobbing. Like, not like a light little cry, like sobbing. And what is with this lag? Apparently the game is over. I was killing it. I think I was flawless. I think I was 15-0. What the hell happened? Alright, by the way, look at this. Aperture sight. No red dot sights in this game. Aperture sights. I don't even know if these were like actual real things, but they had to have something like this in the game. So, they had aperture sights. Now, back to the story. So my mom's crying, and that's like, I'm one of those guys that doesn't do well with other people crying. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, do I be like, oh, I'm sorry? Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I'm just one of those people. And so she starts crying, and I'm like, okay, something's really going on here. And now, something you need to know before hearing the story is that there was one person in my life who I'm closer with than pretty much anyone in the world, and that's my grandpa. Me and my grandpa on my mom's side are just extremely close. Reason being, I grew up living with my mom, my grandma, and my grandpa. So my grandpa was like my father figure, basically. So my mom's bawling, and she looks at me and says, your grandfather had a heart attack. I remember it was weird because she didn't say grandpa. I say grandpa. She didn't say grandpa. She said, your grandfather's had a heart attack. So I'm like, okay, that's not good. And I've come a long way since then, because as soon as I heard that, I assumed he was dead. Like, because I thought, heart attack, okay, that means he's dead. And thank God that's not the way things work. He was 100% fine. In fact, he only lost 1% of his heart function, which is phenomenal for someone who had a full heart attack. But obviously, because of this, I was, like, distraught. Like, I legitimately thought he was dead. So, like, what do you do? What do you do? Like, so I start bawling. Like, he's like I said, I'm closer to him than anyone else in the world. So then my mom explains to me that he's okay. So I'm like, okay, what do you mean he's okay? And then she's like, well, he had a heart attack, but he's in the hospital, and we're just finding out how bad everything is. So she says that doesn't help me in the slightest. So I start freaking out again. The point where I stopped freaking out is when I drove over to my grandpa's house, and my grandma was there, and she was completely calm. Like, normal as everything, just completely calm. So as soon as I saw that, like, I calmed down, and like, I was still, like, super upset, obviously, but then she's like, don't worry, he's completely fine, he's making jokes, he's his normal self, but I was still really upset, and I was upset until the point where I actually saw him, because when I went down to the hospital the next day and saw him, he was completely normal. Like, it didn't even seem like anything happened to him. But I never really realized until that point how easily someone close to you can just be gone. Is that a teammate? Yeah, it is. I just didn't. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that 1 minute you can be talking to someone and 1 minute they can be, the next minute they can be dead. I didn't understand that. And I believe I was 15 at the time that it happened. Maybe 14. Sorry, look at this gun. This gun just recently came to Black Ops 3. It's a frickin' beast. Oh, that's gonna blow up the cars. So the thing that really blows my mind when I tell you guys these stories isn't the fact that I remember these stories. It's that the trigger of these stories is literally a Call of Duty game. Like, for example, whenever I play on the map Roundhouse, I always remember that feeling of my mom coming downstairs and telling me to turn off the Xbox. That weird feeling of something's not right every time I play on the map Roundhouse. And it's amazing how such a huge memory and such an influential story of my life can directly pertain to Call of Duty. Even though the memory I told you today doesn't necessarily a good one, it's really amazing how the story I told you today simply started out with playing one Call of Duty game on Roundhouse.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making